Hey, what do you do, good people? It's your boy Pacman, Mr. 925, Fentambo Yomtlakasi, White Zochokega. Welcome to the People's Journal, where authentic stories are told by real people. This is episode number 6, and I am so happy that slowly but surely we are progressing. You know, there is a bit of progression in what we are doing, and I want to give a shout out to everyone that's really following the show, that's downloading, that's liking and sharing with friends. I really appreciate that, and keep on just supporting. But man, I'm so excited. Very calm, a bit nervous also, I won't lie. This is the first time clearly, and I'm thinking, dang, why am I a bit shaky today? And you'll know as the podcast goes on. So today I am joined by someone, he doesn't know it, but by someone who's been very impactful, from a far picture. You know, he doesn't know it, like I said, but his life is very impactful, especially to me, and I'll tell you why. This is the guy that, for me, until today, because I haven't seen another white person in the hood, this guy brought white people into the hood way before that was cooler, you know, way before that was considered to be like a cool thing, you know. And for me to see that as a young kid growing up in the ghettos, I was like, man, you know, because you're only exposed to white people mobabone TV or when you hear them on radio, but here's this guy touring around with white people and talking or speaking the same language as them so fluently. Think about that, man. You know, another part that is so impactful about him to me was his hard work. And how I came across him was, I'm not sure if he does remember, he was once my coach, because fundi sama gambut stance back in the days. And that's when I was really exposed to his hard work and his discipline and his focus. And I'm excited that he's here on the show. So I don't want to do some injustices, you know. So I'll let you introduce yourself and let the people know. Excuse me, I did say I'm nervous. Okay.
Yeah. My name is Lucky Ndlovu. I am from Finetown like you.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. That's me. That's me. Nothing beyond that.
Nothing beyond that.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. So we're gonna get a bit deeper on that, on who he is and what he does, right? But before we get to that, I thought I should introduce a new segment in the show. You know, it's called Open the Channel. So what basically goes on is, I have this channel, and when you open the first page, you're going to find some things. It might be quiz, it might be pictures, it might be anything, right? And you sort of have to be creative with it. You can either express your opinion about it, sing, dance. It's up to you, right? When you see that. So I'm gonna give you this channel, and you are going to open it up for us, my brother.
So I can open any page, right?
The first page.
The first page.
Yes.
Cool. That should be
it.
cool.
Yeah.
And what do I do?
So you first tell us what is it that you found, and what is it that come into your mind, or you can either perform or recite something out of that.
So there is freedom, a picture written freedom.
Nice.
The director Mbongeni Ngema, and the actor, director, and legend Dr. John KANI.
All right, let's start with freedom. What comes to your mind, or anything that you want to recite or do, dance, sing, or something that reminds you of, you know, when you see that picture or that term freedom?
Wow. This is the Open the Journal section, by the way. So freedom, what I want to say is, with the freedom that we have, or supposedly we have, are we progressing or are we regressing as a nation, or as humans? Because as we're doing the podcast, we are actually living in most interesting times ever. You know what I mean? We just celebrated Freedom Day on the 27th, which like a day or two ago. And for the first time in a long time or ever, one had to celebrate freedom under lockdown.
Man.
How do you then celebrate it? What does it mean to be free when you're locked down? You know what I mean? And to young people, do you ever are you seeing what is happening at the moment, and do you wonder what it means to be free, or are you free? And also being where you are in your personal space, in your own home, being quarantined, is that freedom for you? Are you free from the world? Are you free from your friends? Are you free from pretending to be somebody that you're not when you are outside trying to impress people? Are you free from the voices of the people around you? Are you free from the deadlines you have to meet at work? Really, what does it mean to be free? Because then if you can't define it for yourself, then you will never know what it means to be free at all. And so
The second one?
that is okay. There's Mbongeni Ngema,
Yeah.
who is a very great writer that I know. Most of his work I admire. Was watching Asina Mali on Netflix the other time, which he wrote, which was it's a very powerful story.
Yeah. Is it also like theater based?
Yeah, he's a great theater writer. Well, Mbongeni Ngema Pesimtwa did a very powerful play called, which is still relevant to these times. He wrote a play called Woza Albert, and it never. I mean, that play is ageless. Every time you go and see Woza Albert, you realize how still significant that play is till today, in this times, in this generation that we're in. It is about a savior, and that savior is called Morena. Back then, Morena meant Nelson Mandela, because they had so much hope that Morena is going to come and he's going to save us, and it could be a savior like Jesus Christ is going to come and save us, So Mbongeni Ngema is a very powerful theater director, theater writer, theater actor. And I know Babu Pesimtwa have been working, well, even with Dr. John, but we know a lot of Sarafina, we know quite a lot of timeless work that Mr. Mbongeni Ngema wrote,
Speaking of Sarafina, have you seen the but obviously I mean, you reside in that industry, so that's your bread and butter,
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen the Sarafina, because I went last year, what do you call this, the theater, Esepram, Joburg Theater.
Yeah.
And that was it was also my first time
experiencing theater. Nice.
It was my first time, and when I got there, I was so blown away.
Nice.
My favorite character from that Sarafina was Ustimela.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just blown. I was just like, you know what?
That's the one.
That's the one, man. Yeah. Right. And the third picture.
Dr. John KANI.
He's smiling.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, being a Market Theatre alumni, we've had chats with Dr. John, where we would sit down, and we know that he was one of the co-founders of the Ramalao Machele Theatre, where they've created platforms for young artists who are not academics or from university, but have the talent and would love to grow the talent. So yeah, ngiyasmile mangibona Dr. John because his work is incredible. I mean, you watch Dr. John and you feel like, I think I can do this thing.
Yeah.
But when you get to it, you realize it's so much work, and you ask yourself, how does he do it? You know, I mean, it has become a norm to him. It has become something like talking, you know, acting to him has become like talking, you know. Talking, you might think everybody is able to, because just you can hear people saying words and stuff like that, but you then realize that talking comes with a lot of diction, you know, grammar, and how you
articulate
exactly, you know. So those skills also are the skills that you have to learn through reading, communicating with people, and your surroundings as well.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
So it's more or less like that. So Dr. John, I love. He's Nothing But the Truth.
Wow, such a powerful book.
Yeah, I love, which was based on his true event story that happened in his life. Dr. John worked with Arthur Fugate, who is also another South African white writer. But Dr. John is amazing, guys. Like, I don't know if you've seen The Lion and the Lamb. It's a beautiful... You won't believe they just took stories from the Bible. And you know, you're sitting in the theater listening to The Lion and the Lamb, and you're like, when did they create this play? And you realize it's in the Bible. It's just the Bible.
So it is safe to say that Dr. John is our Shakespeare. Is it safe to?
Well, they are emerging writers.
Okay.
It is safe to say he is Dr. John. He's a practitioner, right?
I like that.
And true, like as a theater performer or as a person who does performing arts, we, like doctors, practice what we do. You know what I mean? And for you to become a doctor in those terms, you need to have a theater. Which you go to a hospital, there are theaters.
True.
Where they operate.
Yeah.
And deal with the human body. And actors do the same thing. They go to a theater.
And they operate
the play, and they get to make this play, heal this play, stitch this play. You know what I mean? So I can safely say that, like, Dr. John is Dr. John. You know, for real.
I like that, man. Yeah. Oh man, welcome.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, that was good. That was a good start.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So just tell me, from a kid growing up in a township, right?
Yeah.
Especially where we come from, we're not really exposed to things such as theater.
Yeah.
We're not really exposed to a lot of things to begin there.
Yeah.
Right? When we grow up, we are exposed to soccer.
Yeah.
What else are we exposed to? We're exposed to soccer mostly when we are guys, I'm a chance, you know.
Yeah.
Growing up in the hood. And we sort of like think that's our end goal. We sort of like think that's the dream. Yeah. Everybody wants to be a soccer star. Everybody wants to be that superstar when it comes to football, because I mean, everybody's on the same line, right? So for you, like, I wanna understand, Guti, how did it come about, the spark to say, okay, I'm gonna be a performer, or I am a performer, right? Where does that come from? Like, is it something that you were brought up with as a kid, or is it something you had to like really learn along the way?
Yeah. So I was very active when I was young, and I never, when I got exposed to theater, I think I was in high school.
Okay.
And so I had to fight for it, because there is no theater where I come from. There are after school programs that young people come together and kind of formulate.
Sure.
Like your drama groups, your kampu dancing, panzola dance, spochwa by then, spanzola.
Yeah.
You know, and those are the most trending things back then. Yeah, what was this dance? There was this dance. What was this hip hop dance called? Cramping. Yeah, you know.
So it used to be a Cramper Fest.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you. But like, those are the things that kind of surrounded me, and I was active in a way that if there is a competition at schools or schools competitions, I would excel in either performance or playing an instrument or whatever it might have been.
Okay, sorry, right? So you were coming up with awards, and what grade and what age was that? Because I'm trying to understand that. Okay, in order for you to be here, because when we perceive you or when we look at you, we think this is like an overnight thing. Like the type of work that you put in, the places you've been in. But I wanna understand the trend from the bottom going up.
So like when it was schools festivals, obviously when you're in primary schools, you have access to the Tswana dance, the Zulu dance, the Kampu dance. That it was from primary school. So primary schools, I used to get like certificates when it was schools festivals and some of the competitions that they will hold within the school. I was very active then, and I had so much energy, which I still do have. I don't know where it comes from. Only God knows. Only God knows. Trust me. So it started way in primary school, man. From that little certificate of either first, second, or third position, but the fact that you are awarded, it means that you are being recognized. It means that you are seen. It means that somebody is aware of what you're doing. You know what I mean? It really doesn't matter if you're first position or second position or third position. You know what I mean? But like the fact that you obtain a certain position, it means that you are being recognized. Somebody is looking at you, and somebody's happy and pleased by the service that you're doing. And going to Willowmead, my first year I was playing a marimba.
Oh, marimba.
I was playing a marimba, and it was a school's festival, and came back with an award. And then grade 9, I went to the National School of Arts, and I watched a theater play that changed my life.
At school?
Yeah. I watched it. This was back in 2004, and I watched a theater play by Umpile Molusi. He was still acting in it. It was saying, and for a minute after I've watched the play, I couldn't leave the theater space.
What was going on? Like, what was in your mind?
It's like, for me, it's like I discovered. I knew why I was born. It's like, this is the reason I'm on earth.
At grade 9.
This is the reason I'm on earth. I understand now why I had so much energy. I understood then why I had so much energy and why I was so active. But I wasn't academically performing well, right?
Yeah.
So that means I was failing my school, but I was achieving in
something else. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The arts, yeah.
And when I saw that, it became trouble, because there's a lady that came to Finetown back 2004, 2005, and she was like, "You should come to our school they had a school in Joburg. It's called the Youth in Trust. Her name was Felicia, and she used to stay in Maxon Manor. And she was like, you should come to our school so that we can shape you. You have so much energy, you've got potential, you can do this, but you need direction here and there. And then it was tough for my parents to allow me to go to Joburg.
Yeah.
You know.
Especially during those times. I could imagine Joburg had like a bad name.
And also because I was a Pantsola dancer by then. So when keys, see, and I'm a Pantsola by then with the roughest people. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was affiliated with gangsterism.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to Joburg saying your fundu. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it was a really, really hard moment for me. And my parents, my mom didn't want me to be exposed to those things. She didn't realize I had to lie when I was supposed
to go.
Yeah, you know, I had to lie every time and wake up, do everything that I have to do so that I can leave on time.
Yeah.
And come back before it's midnight, or come back before it's 6 or it's dark, you know. And sometimes I'd go for performances and come back and get a hiding from my parent because she doesn't want me to do this thing.
And how do you get there? I mean, because I'm thinking, obviously your parents don't know what you're doing. You're doing all of this behind their backs, right? So where are you getting the money to travel from the hood to Jersey to go and do this art thing?
So in high school, I was a businessman.
Sure.
So I used to sell stock sweets, strikers, and stuff like that.
How did that go for you?
So which was not an easy one as well. But like, that's where I sourced my income. So that's where I sourced my transportation. That's where I sourced whatever that I needed at that moment. You know. And also that is what I used to kind of make them not see. You know, because they didn't know how much profit I was making. I could buy bread in the house, buy groceries, and mommy would be happy that, oh, my son is buying groceries, my son is doing this. But also, I need to go to town, you know, and she doesn't know that, you know.
Yeah.
So until one day I was like, no, this is what I'm doing. And the only time they realized it, it's when I appeared on a season of Sis Corner. I think.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Sis Corner came, we were performing at Wits. It was a festival. Came and I think that was my first appearance on TV.
Okay.
Doing my graduation in theatre with the Youth and Trust. And my parents were watching television and they saw me, was like, how did you do it? And then you know, and that's when they started supporting. When I said, no, look guys, this is what I've been doing, this is what I have to do, this the route I have to take. And they started saying, okay, cool, do what you have to do, and they never stopped.
Man,
so
like I get that, ne? But I'm still stuck in that feeling the first time you saw that show, because I'm trying to understand the emotions that you were going through. What is it that really struck or sparked you to realize that this was it? Was it the show? Was it the way in which how they performed it? Was it how they wrote the story? What was that thing like that really shifted you and said, okay, Mawepe, and you were like, okay, definitely this is exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life?
So at some point, this guy this is a one-hander.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at one person
performing,
telling a story for an hour, and the same person kept me captivated and kept me so awake and responding when he wants me to respond to whatever he was saying at that moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? No.
This is impossible.
This is real-time magic.
Yeah.
And I was inclined. And I remember visiting my aunt in Palm Springs, and I had like a small light that could just focus in one place. And I switched off the bedroom I was sleeping in, and I switched on that light, and I focused it at a corner and I started performing under that light because I realized that the theater had light and you can direct lights and change.
Yeah.
And by then, I just don't remember what I was doing, but I remember doing that. I don't remember the words of the characters. Probably I was doing the same play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was inspired by that. And ever since then, I never stopped. I was like, he knows. I met him one day. I was like,
and you told
do you
him
know that you changed my life? You gave me hope. You made me to realize that, like, so much joy in my heart, so much joy in my spirit, just by sitting down and watching you do this. I was so excited. I felt like I wanted to jump on stage and act it out with you as if I knew it. You know? And he laughed and he was like, what? And I was like, one day, when the time is all right, you are going to direct it and I am going to play it. And he taught me, by the way, when I was at the Market Theatre, he taught me writing and playmaking. So we have a very good relationship, me and him. So ever since then we started talking. It's never changed. We've never looked back.
Shit.
Yeah.
Man, it's such an incredible story. Really hard to believe sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, when you're not exposed to a lot, it can be really difficult to believe such stories because for I feel like for most of the people I've come across who are doing great things, they have those sort of like unbelievable stories.
Yeah.
Which are true, by the way, right? But when you look at it, you're like, nah. This one said I moved or I came, like when for Ichi, when you know Casper's story, he moved from where he moved, you know, behind the back of a van and he came and he became a star, because that's what we think, right? But I want to know, so obviously that you seeing that show changed your perspective, it changed everything about you. But was it like a thing of, before that, was it always like a dream to be a performer, or you had a different, what was it before that?
Before that, I was an innocent boy who was growing up in Finetown, and who had to go to school and had a family, had brothers and cousins around, and I was just a simple normal human being, you know, who hadn't discovered anything yet, who didn't know anything, who didn't know that there's what we call careers and choices and decision making. I was just living, to be honest with you. I was just a young boy.
You were just a young boy
who was enjoying the dance part, the competitions, whatever activity that requires my body to be present. I was just enjoying that, you know. I wasn't aware that I'm gonna be an actor or a performer. You know what I mean? So yeah, my life was just a normal life, you know, like everybody else.
Then you discovered that, okay, you know what?
Yeah. Then I realized
I can do this.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you put everything in it to go and do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to believe, right?
It is, especially because, like, you know, we get most of those stories, but it's good to like have a first hand or get that first hand story. You know, from someone close enough from where we're from. You know, because I like Mina, I'm like, for most the parts, I believe so much that, you know, people like you and I, or people who come from where we come from, have so much great potential and gifts and talents. And but like you said, you know, with Dr.
John,
that he was taking students, he was taking people with raw talent and equipping them with the knowledge and tools, you know, to help them strive in whatever direction that they were going in, which was performing in theater. So high school, you still doing this thing?
I did.
After high school?
So grade 10, I did like another longer period appearance in 90 Plain Street, which then...
Oh yeah, that was big.
Yeah.
That was big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Because I remember just out so Masleli,
yeah.
like with my friends, we'd always talk about you when we see you cross. Hey, that guy.
Yeah.
We are actor man.
Yeah,
Vile
yeah,
movie
yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Those times we never knew they were soapies or whatever.
Yeah.
We just call them movies.
Movies,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gule movie or le show le in.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
big. How did you get into that?
90 Plain Street was
Yeah.
through the same school that I was in Joburg.
So you are sort of like the product of, like, you come from the school of arts.
Basically, yeah.
So that's how, like, you were trained and
Basically.
mentored to be this.
Basically.
All right,
So
continue.
I feel like what they did was found the artist in me and kind of shaped it, gave it more finer directions, and gave it more, like a diamond.
Sure.
It needs to go through some rough cuts and patches before it becomes nice. So they found that diamond. They had to clean it, wash it with chemicals, remove what makes it, and give it shape. So I have a lot of educational backgrounds when it comes to acting
And
Yeah,
performing.
absolutely.
That's great. And
Yeah.
you would obviously advise someone who's aspiring to be a performer, a dancer, to also
Absolutely.
have, like,
Look, talent can take you from point A to point B.
Sure.
But talent plus education and wisdom and reading and humility and prayer and faith, you can move from point A to Z, basically. So you can go A, B, C, D, E, F, G till you get to Z. But if you only have talent, you're going to move from A till B. And you think you've got it, you don't. It can move you from that point to this point. But you need these things to kind of expand your gift, to kind of expand your perspective of life, your perspective of the gift that you have and what it means. One thing I've known in my whole entire life is that I can't be alone. I am born for people. I am born to help people. I am born to change people's lives. And it took me time to understand that it's a gift from God. I could give off time. I could give off money, food, clothing. It really doesn't matter, But like, for the fact that I can sit down with a stranger and converse and listen to the person's story and comfort that person, that is valuable as much as you're giving that person money or clothing or food. Do you know what I mean? Because some people don't need those things.
Yeah.
They just need someone to kind of
share.
hear.
Yeah, listen to them.
Yeah. I mean, people go through things, As I'm speaking to you, there's this young person I met over Facebook. They sent me a request and I accepted it, and they started talking to me. And then they're talking to me about some things that they're not even talking to their parents. And they are going through abuse, basically. They are in a very abusive relationship, to be specific. And I feel the first question I ask myself, why me?
Because I was about to ask.
Yeah, why
you
did
that.
you choose me? Did you speak to your parents? No, I don't know how to speak to my parents about this. I'm afraid I will bring shame to my family and my parents. And this is this abusive relationship I'm going through. And as we talk, the person starts to say, I'm really grateful of you replying to my text and speaking to me and hearing me out and comforting me and giving me direction and what to do. And they really work. Whatever you're telling me to do, when I do it, it works.
Yeah.
I feel much better. I feel like really I'm getting out of this abusive relationship. And I've not met this person. I've never met him
At all.
in person. I've never.
So
Like, I can't say this is the person. I can't point them out. But you can see that this is a gift that I have. I don't really have to meet the person to help the person out. Just reaching out, talking and calling the person and talking. I don't need to meet the person. The person stays far from where I stay. But the fact that they decided to send me a friend request. I don't know why.
But they did.
They did,
So
you know. And
you were sort of like the send angel.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and why? I mean, there's so many people on Facebook. Why did you choose me?
Why
did
not you?
Yeah.
Why not you?
I mean, there's so many people you can, you know. So that's when I realized that, look, even where I stay, it's not my place. I stay with people.
Yeah.
There's always people. You know, you come to visit, you find someone. You'll always find someone new. You always find someone who's there looking for help, looking for work. Mostly also try to help young people, brothers and sisters who are looking for work. Having access to the internet, which is something that they don't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's always something I give. There's always something I give. You know, which I feel like it's a gift from God, basically.
Yeah.
So I can't know these things without also knowing that acting is a gift of healing. You know, you are healing someone who's watching. You're bringing comfort to someone who's watching. You're bringing joy to someone who's watching. You at that moment, you know, like you had your own theater experience. You were blown away.
Yes.
I don't know what was the state you were in before you were watching, you know, or that day, whatever that happened to you that day. But the minute you entered the theater and you were like, there's this type of thing in life, you know, and that is a great feeling.
Because I wanted to ask you that, because I want to give, like, you know, whoever's going to listen to this,
absolutely,
that context, you know. A lot of us are not really exposed to theater. No. We don't understand what it is. Yeah. Hence why, because even when I was there, it was kind of full, but when you go to other theater thingy shows, you'd find like some spaces are empty, or it's certain people who are in that industry, you know, who go and support. But people like me, or you know, someone like me who comes from the hood, and they think theater, okay, cool. If it's not on TV, then
it's not something I know.
Simply because they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You know, so I wanted to find out from you, is that the purpose of it? Like you're saying, the first time you saw this guy performing, it really shifted you.
Yeah.
Same to me when I went there. Like, it was so unbelievable, because I was just like, I can't believe I've been missing out on this. I actually want to go to more shows and watch, because I was intrigued by how they were telling our South African story so authentically, you know, and just seeing humans' emotions and them evoking those emotions in you, like, it's something powerful, and they leave you with like a certain thought or feeling, you know. So is that the purpose of theater? Is that what Vele it's meant to do when someone watches it? What would you?
It is meant to heal. It is meant to touch. You know how people when life comes with difficulties, people tend to go to whatever practice of faith they have. People will go to church to go and praise and worship and feel better, right? And feel like something just left or something new just entered me. Theater is meant to change people's lives. Theater is meant to tell, because it is real-time stories you're watching. You're watching a real person telling me a story in real time. It's not a movie. It's not something that's been shot and pre-recorded. And no, you're watching a real person cry in front of you.
True.
You're watching a real person smiling in front of you.
True.
And those things are contagious.
Yeah.
Laughing is contagious. Yawning is contagious. Crying is contagious. And you're moved by the story. It is meant to take you as an individual human being into a journey. You know, it is meant to transform people's life. Theater is like that. It's meant to. So imagine if we had shows every day, like, you'd be happy every day.
Yeah, that's true.
You would go and be transformed, and you would have, you would see life in a different way. You know what I mean?
Wow. So besides being that point where you going to see this guy for the first time perform, and like it kind of sparked and it gave you like a bit of hope of what your purpose is.
Yeah.
How else did like theater change your life holistically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it disciplined me in a way that I had to respect every human being.
How important is that, by the way?
Oh, that thing is, respect is crucial. Very crucial. I receive so much respect even to people that I never thought I'd talk to, or people that I never, when I meet an elderly person,
Yeah.
who would say, I'm impressed by what you do and keep doing it, and I'm praying for you, and that God must bless you more with what you're doing. Clearly, your life that you're living is then bearing fruits of how you're living it, right?
Yeah.
So respect goes a long way. You begin to look around you and see what you can do, because everyone is a solution to someone.
Hey.
Everyone is a solution
To someone. Yeah, that's powerful.
All of us in this world are created unequal. All of us are created unequal. Where you're strong, I am weak. And where I'm strong, you are weak. We both need one another. For instance, if we need to jump a wall, I can't run, but I can jump. You can run, but you can't jump. But both of us need to be on the other side of the wall. That's the mission. The mission between me and you is to get to the other side of the wall. We need one another, because you're going to run towards the wall and you won't be able to jump. I can't jump over the wall without running and getting towards the wall first. So I can't get towards the wall. You need to carry me till we get to the wall. Then I carry you so we can jump the wall. So we need one another. So everyone is a solution to someone. Your life entirely is a solution to someone else. You don't need to be there physically. You don't need to be there. Your presence, you don't need to be there. Just be you. Being you and doing what you are here for is a solution to someone else's life. Because then, I know, I've seen it. Inspiring young people, some of the young people that I've worked with, and you find that life has happened to them and come back to me and say, but Lucky, this is what you taught me, and I'm great. Can we not go back? And, and then I realize how much impact it had to people. So really, your life is a solution to someone else. That's how we are created. One way or the other, that's how we are created. We are created to become a solution to someone else. Because I can't achieve it by myself. I can't achieve it by myself. Even rich people need the poor people for them to realize that they are rich. Because if you are all rich, we don't know what poor means.
Hey. Oh.
Do you know what I mean? You don't know what poor means.
Yo.
If we are all rich.
True.
You don't know. You have no idea.
True.
Of the other side. And I always say that what is not done well is not done at all. You have to do it and do it very well. That's it.
And the second one, so it's respect, things you've learned.
Yes.
Respect.
So humility.
Yeah.
Humility. Always remember that you are in the midst of human and you need to behave like a human and be a human. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not perfect. No one is. We are all humans. If you're looking for a perfect human being or a perfect being, you'll get to heaven.
True.
If you're looking for a perfect being, not a human being.
A perfect being.
Yes.
What's the difference?
A human being is a being that lives inside this flesh right now.
Okay.
But a being is a being that is out of the flesh already, but it's living.
Hey.
Right?
Okay. A human being is
a so humanity is the flesh. Right?
Yeah.
The flesh eats, the flesh sleeps, the flesh gets washed. That this is human. Right?
Yeah.
But human plus the being, which is my spirit inside this, the two makes a human being. Right? So if you're looking for a perfect being, you will get to heaven. Here on earth, there's no perfect person. There is no perfect person.
true.
And there will never be a perfect. And we are created not to be perfect. Why? Because then you will have pride. The reason you are created to be a human is that you should have humility and don't have pride. And always remember that you are living in the midst of humans. And you too, you are human. And behave like one, be like one, you know? If you hurt someone, ask for forgiveness, you know? Because you are going to hurt someone. Because you are meant to hurt someone. You know, you are bound to.
Yeah.
You know, because you're not perfect and you're designed not to be perfect. So humility.
So there is no way of getting closer to perfection. Like,
There's always a level to reach for.
okay.
There's always a level to reach for. You get to humility, you realize you need to be a channel of light. You get to a channel of being a light, you realize you need to be a channel of love. So there's always a level to reach for. So there's no way that it ends at A, B. It continues. From A, it goes to B. From B, it goes to C. There's always a level to reach for. And by the time you get to Z, you're old.
Yeah.
Now you have to turn back and go home. Now you have to leave Earth.
And go to heaven.
By the time you get to Z, you're old. You don't have the strength of going back to A.
Now the only thing you can do is just pass on that wisdom.
Yeah.
And help the upcoming generation to understand this journey better. Respect, humanity.
Love, respect, humility, become light.
And I mean, okay, right? Because I understand, in order for you to understand these things, there are some certain crossroads probably you've went through in order for you to sort of like understand the importance of respect, the importance of humanity, and also the importance of love. It's not something you just wake up and you're like, oh, love is important. You go through a lot of heartbreaks, you go through a lot of disappointments, a lot of rejections.
Look, you ask for love, you are given broken people.
Oh, preach, brother.
That's what you will receive.
What?
You ask for, I remember very vividly that the minute I prayed and I said, God, please give me love. I want to know what is love.
Yeah.
And what it means to love. Broken people came into my life.
And they showed you love.
People who, no.
Okay.
I am meant to love these people. That, I ask for it. To get it, it's not like, okay, there it is. No. Look at my son. Look at my daughter. Look at my mother. Look at broken people come into your life, coming with problems. Say, look, my brother, this is the situation I'm facing. And you realize there's nothing to offer to this person but love. There's this young girl I was speaking to, and we were talking about relationships, and she was like, no, I can't love anymore. I don't think I'm going to love a person.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, you lie. You're lying to yourself right now. And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, don't you have a child? She says, I do. I have a son. I said, God gave you the child so you know how to love, so that you don't fail. Yes, they've broken your hearts, your boyfriends, but God still proved a point of saying you can still love because he gave you a child. Don't you love the child? No, I love my child. Is as the facts remain that you are loving. You're not a hatred person. You can't hate. God is trying to prove to you that it doesn't matter how many times they've broken your heart. You can still love. It is possible.
What is your definition of love? Because, and you know, Ne, from this context that you're explaining it, I get it. But I think for most people, like, there's still, people don't know what love is.
Yeah. I don't know to be exact what love is, but I'm a faith man, and I believe that love is what is described in the book of life, right? Love keeps no record of wrong. Love looks around to see who is in need. Love is patient and kind because it knows that there's humans and they have human behavior. And I need to be very patient about that. A sower doesn't sow a seed today, or a farmer doesn't sow a seed today, and they're doing it out of love. They love farming. They don't sow a seed today and go tomorrow and expect the tree to have grown.
Every day they nurture
it. They water it. They wait. Patient. It waits. Love waits. You wait. In love, you have to wait. And if you're saying you're loving an imperfect human being, you have to wait.
And the thing is, I can attest to that, right? When you speak of love, I can attest to the fact that you are so in tune and so attached to it.
Yeah.
Because I've kind of seen you, right, in a relationship. You one of, like I said, when I first introduced you, that your life has been so impactful to a point that the ripple effect, came to me, and it sort of like changed some perspective or how I do things in a sort of way.
Yeah.
I've watched you from like when you were in a relationship, how you treat,
with who?
I don't know the name.
Okay.
Yeah, but I assume she stayed or lived in Megs and Men.
Oh, she does.
Yeah.
I was just telling these guys about it now.
That's the longest relationship, right?
Yeah, right.
Longest I've ever seen, right? Because like I was saying, right, when I was telling you guys about my name, Pac-Man, right? So at that time, obviously, I was just busy with something. Yeah. But I'd always ask myself, how does he do it? Yeah. I mean, if there's a guy that can hold on to a woman and look so happy and feel so happy, because you can't lie to the aura, right? Yeah. That's the thing that makes us talk or notice the aura. Yeah.
Those two. Yeah.
And I've seen how romantic you are, because sometimes I would pass by the parks.
Yeah.
And you're not chilling and chill. I don't want to give away too much of that.
This guy's giving away my life.
No, but all I'm saying is, I understand when you talk about love in that deeper sense. Yeah. You know, because it shows that you've experienced it.
I have.
You know, so I had to just.
I have. And we unfortunately broke up with that person, but like after years, to be honest. And the greatest thing that I took off from that was really learning what it means to love a human being, and learning to be patient with a human being, and learning to forgive, you know, because we also went through good times and hard times alike.
Yeah.
Because we are supposed to.
True.
You know, the greatest thing I learned is that even gold must go through a furnace before it becomes gold.
Are you a son of a pastor? Yay.
You know,
Yeah.
so no, I'm a son of a taxi driver. My mom fell in love with a taxi driver. So even gold has to go through furnace before it becomes gold. It needs to go through testing. You might think you have gold, but it's bronze.
True.
It's not gold. It looks like gold, but it's bronze. You need to take it to fire to melt it. So they find it. They break it. They melt it and reform it. So that long relationship I had really taught me that.
Lord.
Once you know, you will be broken, you will be melted and reformed. Because me and her ended up becoming one. You know, when you see her, even if she's alone, you think I'm around. And when you see me, even if I'm alone, you think she's around. You know, you feel her in my presence. Like, no, I know who to call her, bro, somewhere. You know, but like, I know this guy with this girl. You know, and it taught me faithfulness. You know, how to become faithful, and really how to forgive, how a human being is. You know, that relationship had a very big impact in my upbringing. You know, being a person who didn't grow up with a father, who was not taught by his biological father to say, you take care of a woman, you love a woman, you become kind to a woman, you become patient with a woman, you sometimes direct a woman, you know, you sit her down. I had to learn these things all by myself.
Pay the school fees.
I had to.
So how does one pick up the pieces when something so beautiful or so great like that has collapsed, you know, or is no longer what we know it for, or is, you know, it doesn't exist anymore. It exists in other forms, right? But because I'm thinking a lot of people drown a lot these days when obstacles happen, like even now with this whole COVID thing. Other people are already depressed as it is, you know, there's a lot happening. Things like your heartbreak, people you don't just wake up and be like, you know, there's things you go through. So how did you pick yourself up from that long term?
I had to heal. I tried being in relationship twice, and the first one, I told her I'm not okay. And because my previous relationship kept, you know, appearing, you know, this ghost kept on appearing in this current relationship. I was like, I'm not okay. And I'm going to be honest with you. And she was like, no, I'll have time. And I know sometimes human beings say things that they can't stand.
True.
You know? And she realized that this guy, to her probably, she was like, he'll never be okay. You know? And you cannot expect to replace years with a day. You cannot expect to replace years with a month. For you to replace these years, we need to go through the years and go past the years.
To heal from
to them. Really say, no, I'm okay. It's been more than now that I'm with this new person and I'm happy. So I had to heal, to be honest. I did bungee jumping, abseiling. I did all these weird things.
Lucky
surfing.
You sound like a privileged white kid that did.
But they helped me a lot. Like I did everything that I feared. You know, I went to the Soweto Towers and I did bungee jumping there. I went to Durban and I did abseiling and I did surfing. And mind you, I don't know how to swim, you know.
But you tried out new things.
I have this energy of anger and trying to reason and trying to find how come that this relationship ended? Why did I let it end? Why didn't I fight more? I took that energy, instead of me thinking about it, placed it somewhere else so that I take it out, you know.
And like, what's your perspective now on relationships? Did it change the way in which how you'd view relationships? Like when you were in that relationship, you still carry the same values?
Still carry. I mean, it doesn't change. The day is the day, the night is the night. We'll never find midnight, day, night, whatever. The day is the day, the night is the night. And they keep following each other like that. And I believe that it doesn't change. And people are different. People grow. When I come into a relationship with a human being, I make sure that that human being understand that we are human beings. We are going to fight. I sit her down. I tell her, we are going to have arguments. This relationship is going to be tested. You are going to be tested. I am going to be tested. I'm going to see beautiful women than you. I'm going to see all types of women. I'm going to see white, Indians, black, whatever.
She's going to see also.
You're going to see also different people from me. People who have what I don't have. If it is material you're looking for, you're going to find them. I'm a sapiosexual. I don't fall in love with your body. I fall in love with your mind.
What's that term?
Sapiosexual.
Okay.
Sapiosexuals are people that fall in love with
the mind.
Yeah, with the intelligence, basically.
The intellect, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I tell the person that I'm a sapiosexual. I read, I research, I learn, I unlearn, because that's the generation, that's the times we're in. You have to learn and unlearn. You have to always learn or have the hunger to learn something new every day. So, oh, it's a new day. What do I learn? You know, what can I learn? Or, you know, and stop living in a cycle that you keep on living every day of your life, but you always have to learn, you know? So I sit her down and explain to say,
this is what it is.
You're not perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect. That's the thing. We need to get it out. When I make a mistake, forgive me. Don't go to bed with unforgiveness. When you make a mistake, I'll tell you that I didn't like it and I forgive you, and please be careful not to do it again. Be careful not to do it again. I'm not saying you're not going to do it again.
But be careful.
Be careful. You will do it again. But when you do it, remember my words of saying I've asked you to be careful when you do it.
So it's respect, it's humanity,
Love.
It's love. Is there anything else you've learned?
I mean, yeah, there's so much, man.
You could write a book.
Well, yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
All right. So what are then some of the things you had to unlearn?
I had to unlearn thinking that I know. No. Don't ever think you know a person. A person is bound to grow every day. Sometimes it's shocking. We do it as humans. You know, you visit an aunt who hasn't seen you in 25 years. Who the last time they saw you, you were 7.
Yeah.
It's like, so gaga. It's like, what did you expect? Yeah. But I'm a human being and I'm supposed to grow.
Evolve, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is the reason why you have to unlearn a person. So, no. I knew yesterday you were like this, but today you're a different person. Yeah. Because, I mean, you can watch something that will change your life. You can listen to a podcast that will change your life. You can, well, since 2020 started, I have this 2020 thing that I do every morning. It's either listen to a podcast for 20 minutes.
Take us through to it, yeah.
So 2020 for me is doing workouts 20 minutes. So wake up, still be in bed 20 minutes, spend another 20 minutes in bed, listen to your body, listen to your brains, listen to your thoughts, pray, get up, do exercises 20 minutes, listen to a podcast 20 minutes, learn something new. for 20 minutes. Before you can go back to your social media life, learn something new for 20 minutes, even if it's read a page a day. That's it. However pages you can read in 20 minutes, read those pages. Read that book. Listen to that podcast. Listen to that YouTube interview of whoever author. Learn about certain people, entrepreneurs, motivational. It depends on what you're doing and what you want.
Yeah.
You know, but that 2020 thing is about learning something new every morning.
Yeah.
And that will change your life. And I'm not the same as I was 10 minutes ago. Having this conversation changes my life entirely.
Trust me, there's change.
So when you have changed your behaviors, your partnership is like, hey, so shinchile. Yes, allow me to change. Allow me to grow.
And what are some of the things you had to unlearn now, coming back to the journey of your passion,
Yeah.
you know, your lover,
Yeah.
which is performing and, you know,
Yeah.
acting, theater?
I had to unlearn having a second option, plan B. Because I grew up knowing that if you don't make it in the industry of acting, you'll end up being a businessman who's selling something totally different from. Because I stopped doing performance for 2 years. I worked in a hardware store and I almost lost my leg. And at that moment, I was like, why am I here?
Were you stopping because there were obstacles?
I was stopping because
like...
of the challenges I was facing at the time in life. Right?
Yeah.
And with entertainment, you don't have an income that comes every month. And it's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
And it will change. Whenever it changes, it will change. Trust me. I don't see the same thing happening all over again.
Yeah.
Where upcoming artists will suffer like the people that have paved the way for us have suffered, you know?
The suffering is different.
Yeah. You know, but the enemy is one.
Issue.
So I had to unlearn not to have a plan B. Have faith in what you have to do. Believe in it. If you found it, stick on it. Work on it. Advance yourself within it. I'm telling you, you will win. And also what I had to unlearn is watch plays. I stopped watching plays. I started reading different people instead of only reading playmakers. Because then I'm expanding my knowledge of writing. I can talk about Raymond Ackerman and how he started Pick and Pay in a play. Not tell his story, but find ways and strategies of what Robert Kiyosaki learned from Rich Dad Poor Dad or whatever, but use it in the entertainment industry. And ask yourself that question. So many people are doing podcasts. What is it that is different that I want to bring when I do a podcast?
Yeah.
What is it that I can do that someone has not done? Or I was that person. Let me tell you, I was the person who, in my family, they know. My grandmother used to say, hey, waipona, and I was naturally gifted. So
Yeah.
And that used to like very much make me feel bad because I didn't realize what does she mean, you know?
Or which place it's coming from.
Yeah. I didn't know what it mean or what it meant at that time. But then when I grew up, I realized I'm different. I'm different from everyone else. And that's why probably she meant that. You know, and she was meaning this probably to humble me. And I took it offensively, you know, because I didn't know what was the meaning of it. But I felt like this thing sounds so wrong. And it hurts me to hear her say it. But after I realized that, I was like, okay, now I've known that I'm not normal. Now I've known that, like, in my whole genealogy, no one has ever been to England. I was the first one to finish school and go to England. And everyone was like, but what is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those are the signs to say you're not a different person. You are not the same. You are born different. You are, like some people even ask me, I won't tell the name, but there was this girl who asked me, like, why isn't God blessing you already? Because she wants to be with me in a relationship, but she realized I don't have what she wants at this time. She wants me to have the money, the car,
the material,
like,
basically.
Wait, my future is big, son. Don't rush me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So don't rush me.
Yeah.
And we had a conversation, and it's like, then I realized, so she wants me to be rich so that she can be in my life. I was like, no, I'm very uncomfortable with what you're asking me, and I'm happy where I am.
And that's why so many of us are depressed now. That's why so many of us
mental depression.
Mental depression, that whole anxiety thing going on because of the material things, because of the pressure from other people, and we end up just making it our own.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. So those were some of the things that you had to unlearn. Then you shift to England.
Yeah.
You jump, you cross.
Cross the borders. The oceans. Yeah.
What are some of the things that you've learned about? Because South Africa has its own culture.
Yeah.
Right? But when you get to the world, you sort of like get exposed to new cultures, new ways of doing things.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you've seen in the world that you'd say, okay, maybe in South Africa, if we could try on this, or maybe because of I've learned 1, 2, 3 from that world, it has made me like a different person, or
So there is no description of how black people should live.
True.
There is no description of how white people should live. All of us are given life, and all of us should live life.
Yeah.
There was, there was always obviously this thing of being called a coconut, because I was surrounded by white people. Speak English so fluent and with eloquence, and even my mom started saying, hey, you live like a white person. It's like, but I'm living in your house.
Yeah.
Are you a white person? If you're saying that I live like a white person, I'm in your house. Are you a white parent? So one of the things that I learned was that there is no description that black people must live in this kind of way and white people must live. No. Depression is not for white people. And poverty is not for black people.
True.
And riches are not for white people.
Yeah.
So there is no formula as to you must do this, you must do. No. You are given life, and you're given life to live it. Live your life. Live your life impactful. Live your life preaching. You don't need a pulpit to preach. For you to get out of this room and get to the taxi, someone is watching and is inspired by you. So it's
I'm really out of words because I'm trying to take in like this. It's kind of crazy, man.
Yeah.
When you listen to this, you're gonna feel how crazy this energy is. Like, it's real impactful energy. And this is why I started this, in the first place. To come across people like you who'd share that wisdom, who'd share their journey with the world, so that the world gets like that window of, especially township, people or disadvantaged people. Whether you'd be disadvantaged financially, emotionally, spiritually, there's no one way of saying it. But I'm so inspired, man, by your story.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how long you guys are willing to stay. Because with me, I'm just like, I haven't been in church in a while. No church in a while.
So,
But I'm really healed.
Yeah.
And I hope someone is going to listen to this will also be healed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything that maybe you want to say just before we... Hey, because... What?
I don't know. Really.
Let me just say, what's your mantra? Your mantra. Mantra. What do you live by every day that you tell yourself? Like, I know for most people, they do affirmations. Like me, I'll do that every time when I wake up. I am the best. I'm great. You know, I'm a good podcaster. What is that one thing that keeps you in that frame of you not losing yourself? If that makes sense.
I have learned to always love. I have learned it in a way that I know there's bad people around me. And it's afuna ukhlatsana. When my girlfriend started cheating years ago, and I wanted to do it, and God was like, so you're going to be bad because she's bad? Are you going to make yourself a bad person because you're trying to prove a point that you can also be bad? No matter what people take from me, I love them. No matter how they can hurt me, I love. One thing I know is that I love, and I love well. And trust me, I've had lady friends that wanted to be in a relationship with me because of just talking to me, or voicing themselves out to me, and me genuinely listening to them. You know, when I ask, how are you? I'm not asking you because I'm trying to create a conversation, but I'm asking because I really care. And that has followed me. That's why you find people, this person who's been inviting me on Facebook, and now
they're sharing their stories.
They're telling me their problem. They've never met me, or we've never met in person, but already it is because of the love that I carry that attracts such things. And this love attracts name calling. Love attracts persecution. Love attracts humility. It as much as it attracts the light, it also attracts the dark. Because those who are in the dark, they see the light and they want to go to the light. And they bring this darkness with them until they are in the light, then they're illuminated that they can see clearly. You know? So, you do something bad to me, I talk to myself. So continue to love that person.
Yeah, I'm gonna prove your point.
Why? Because by doing that, I am practicing to be evil. Whereas I am not an evil person. You are an evil person. Or you have done wrong. You have done a mistake.
Yeah.
So basically is when you I mean maunyathela. I say, hey, I'm sorry bro, ngicela ukukhipha inyawo lami ngaphansi kwelapho. But you're the one who's doing it. But I ask for forgiveness. Because I know you might have pride never to say sorry. I've stepped on you.
Yeah.
But I'll be sorry to say I'm sorry. I shouldn't have put my foot here. Then this shouldn't have happened. But because my foot was here, that's why you tramped on it. Can I take it out? And once I take it out, I forgive you. I move on.
That's humanity at its core.
Yeah.
Shit.
Do you have to get to that point.
Yo.
And trust me, this takes practice. This is not something you can do overnight. It takes practice. You have to practice how to love as much as you practice how to hate.
What?
Trust me. People practice how to not forgive Angeke ngimxolele. Number one, you're saying it. Number two, you're doing it. So probably next time we come here, we'll talk about the power of words and action. We'll talk about the power and how that have worked in my entire life.
I wish that soon. But I know that
Power of words and action, that has also worked in my life.
the power of words and action.
Yeah. Like I'll say this, you will never live beyond your confession. You see, like what you're saying, you're doing affirmations, I'm a good podcast. You will never live above your confessions. Forget. It is you who is saying your life. Before umuntu akawata akubulala, they say it with their mouths. The minute they declare it with their mouth, they've achieved it. You can never live beyond your confession. The life you enjoy comes from the words you say. Every day when you say, I'm a good person, you are a good person. You practice it, you become it. You know? And also, your heart and your mouth must become one. I'm a good podcaster. Even if there's no one, even if you're not recording, you're not going live, practice. Go live. Have this wonderful conversation. Let me tell you, the person that helped me a lot in acting was Denzel Washington. Never met him in person, but I've always been with him. When I perform, when I'm struggling, when I find a text and I'm struggling with a text, and most people, when they look at some things, it's like, hey, la unkumbuza Denzel, and I'm like, there, he shows up. Because I would speak to him when I'm alone. It's like, Denzel, how do I do this? What do I do? Like, how do I it sounds crazy.
It does.
But it has helped my career so much. Humility. How do and there's a movie that he directed called The Great Debaters. And there's a saying that he teaches the debaters there. He asks them a question, and he says, I'll tell you now, who's the judge? He asked them the question, who's the judge?
Yeah.
And they say the judge is God. And he asked them, why is he God? Because he decides who wins or loses, not my opponent. And he asked them, who's your opponent? And they say he doesn't exist. And he says, why does he not exist? He's the mere descending voice to the truth I speak. Speak the truth, speak the truth. That's it. Who's the judge? The judge is God. And why is he God? Because he decides who wins or loses, not my opponent. And who's your opponent? He does not exist. He's there, but he does not exist. And why does he not exist? Because he's the mere descending voice to the truth I speak. Speak the truth, stand for the truth, live the truth. That's it.
Man, with that said, wow, with that said, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For really showing up and sharing this wisdom.
Absolutely.
I'm still gonna take in most of the things that you said. You know, I think they're so powerful and empowering.
Yeah.
And I hope that whoever is gonna get a chance to listen to this podcast, this episode specifically is my favorite one. Yes, I am saying it. So whoever's gonna come and sit on this sit, just know it's that moment where it's that Kanye West sit on Sway in the morning. You know what I mean? But yeah, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man, I don't even have flowers to show you token of appreciation. I'm just, yeah. Now it makes sense why I was nervous. Now it does make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much to everyone that's also going to get this chance to listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Remember, you'll find this podcast on Spotify, Spreaker, and Google Podcast. You can also follow on Facebook. It's the People's Journal Podcast. Also starting a new page on Instagram. You can also check that one out. With that said, man, love.
Yeah.
Learn to love. It's a practice. Just like you learned to hate. I'll catch you on another episode. Sharp.